What is an assignment agreement? So, an exciting day is when you finally agree on terms.
Right.
You know who your buyer is for the portfolio. You got this third-party buyer, and they're like, hey, we're willing to pay you this much. And you're like, cool. You go back to your processor. Maybe they have a first right of refusal. They refuse. So you go back to the third party and say, I want to take your deal. Now, at that point, you might be thinking they're going to cut you a check. You would be wrong.
Right.
They're not going to cut you a check. So in order to understand this concept, I think, Patty, first, we've got to make sure that they understand that, as an agent or a small ISO, you don't actually own the merchant account.
Right. You own the residuals.
Yes. You own that little chunk of the residuals.
Right.
So that income is what you're selling.
Right.
Well, when you think about that, what is the buyer actually buying? Well, they're buying these future residual payments.
Right.
So all that has to happen in order to complete this is that the processing company or the ISO that's paying you, they have to start paying the buyer the residuals every month.
Right, right.
So in order to do that, there's an agreement called the assignment agreement, which assigns your residuals to somebody else.
Uh-huh.
Now, what agents also don't understand is they think of their agent agreement and they go, well, my agent agreement's fine. It is what it is. Well, whoever buys your portfolio also is agreeing to your agent agreement with that company.
Yes.
So if you have a thing in there that says, if I don't make 2 sales a month, I don't get my residuals anymore.
Yeah.
Well, that means whoever buys your portfolio has to agree to make 2 sales a month with that ISO. Otherwise, they're not going to get paid anymore. So guess how much your portfolio is worth?
Zero.
Nothing.
Right.
So the assignment agreement is the most time-consuming part because what happens is this. One of the two parties, either the third party buying the portfolio or the ISO that you work with, one of them, is going to come up with an assignment agreement.
Right.
Now, if you go to a good third-party buyer, and this is where it's so important to have that reputation, like if you go right now, ccsalespro.com/buyout, download the guide. Right after that, we're going to send you an email and take you to a web form where you can submit the information about your portfolio and get a buyout offer.
From a trusted
third party.
Right.
And here's why we trust this third party. And again, I'm using this because we may change over time. Like I want to make sure we always are giving you one that we absolutely trust.
Absolutely.
Because that company has to have connections with everybody. If your ISO does not know that company and doesn't trust that company, they're not going to allow you to sell your portfolio.
No.
They have to sign that assignment agreement. Even if it says, yeah, you can sell your portfolio, if the CEO of your ISO does not sign that assignment agreement, no buyer is going to give you money.
Right.
So there has to be that trust there, and that's why it's super important to make sure you're with a buyer that everybody trusts and knows, and a buyer that has a good assignment agreement that they can send to the ISO that's going to be acceptable to them. So then what happens is now the ISO and the buyer are going to go back and forth on the terms of this assignment agreement.
Right, right. And
Well,
that takes time, right?
Yeah. Could take 2 weeks, could take 3 weeks, could take 6 weeks.
And no offense, but it usually means lawyers are involved.
Absolutely.
And
yes.
that can always take time.
That always takes time. So
Right.
just be aware of that. If you go through a third party, don't think you're going to get a check tomorrow. It's going to take a little time. And again, I cannot stress enough how important it is. Do not go ahead and sell your portfolio to some random person that makes you an offer 1x better than a trusted third party.
Right.
It's going to take 6 months to close the deal if it even happens. So you need to go to somebody that understands this process, that knows how to work with companies, work with ISOs, preferably if they've already done a buyout with the company you're with.
Right.
So the last one, the one I mentioned in another video where I got, a couple $100,000 up front,
Right.
that third party that I used for that buyout, they actually had already done 4 buyouts with the company I was with. So they said, oh yeah, we already know so-and-so at that company. We'll email them right now. And it was like this really smooth thing.
Right, right. And I think, that goes to the point that, a well-connected third party.
Very well connected.
Which is, if you're really interested in doing this, I highly recommend you go to ccsalespro.com/buyout. Our guide tells you everything you need to know, and it will automatically take you to a form, and we can connect you with a trusted third party, somebody we know and trust that'll do well by you.
Absolutely. Well, hey, everybody, thanks for watching this video. Hope you have an awesome day.